Hey, and good afternoon, everybody. Thank you guys for waiting. I know there was a mix-up with the time. June mentioned to me there was a mix-up with the time, but we are here. Oh wait, I'm getting an echo. Teka lang. Oy, I'm here on my own YouTube pala. Ayan. So yes, we're back here. We're talking about this topic right now. We're talking about freelancing, the rise of the gig economy. Now, I'm in the chat room. I'm seeing your guys' chats over here. And I asked earlier here on my phone. I asked earlier who here is an existing freelancer, who here is like a current an aspiring freelancer, and who here is a newbie. And it looks like we have a lot of newbies here, a lot of people na parang are just getting into freelancing, who haven't really started freelancing and want to get into it, right? We have a majority of the people here, and we have some people who are students of the VA Bootcamp. Thank you guys for joining, or members of our Facebook group, Freelancers in the Philippines. Thank you guys for joining over here. But yeah, a lot of you guys are newbies, and this is great for those that are, I say, newer into freelancing. For those of you that know freelancing now, but you already know this stuff. But for those of you that are newer into freelancing, you'll get a lot of education. You'll learn a lot of things in our talk right now. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I won't dilly-dally anymore, or di ko naman patagalin. But let's go over here. And if you haven't, if you didn't see it in the chat, I want to ask you guys, parang, who here is an aspiring freelancer? Who here is a newbie? Who here is existing freelancer? I'm going to look at it here. And if you have any questions, my recommendation is to click on yung Q&A portion. Parang may pin post sa taas, like here, I think. You click on this here so you can ask your questions and I'll answer them later. Kasi if sa chat baka di ko makita because there's lots of comments and I'm also be busy with the presentation. So yeah, you can click like here and then click that link para you can get to the Q&A portion. We'll ask those questions later and I'll answer them later. So let's talk about freelancing. First of all, before we define kung ano ba talaga yung freelancing and yung mga technical and yung details dun, I want to ask this question, or I'm going to answer this question actually. Why go into freelancing? Bakit pa tayo papasok dito sa freelancing? Like what is the reason that we want to go into this whole thing called freelancing? And we're in the Philippines, right? You guys are in the Philippines. I think 90% of the watchers right now are in the Philippines. So let's talk about the benefits for freelancing, especially for Filipinos, okay? Especially sa mga Pinoy. Okay, so what are these benefits? And you might have some benefits. You might be able to discuss them in the chat. Makikita nyo, you can discuss them, talk about it with you guys. But let's talk about this right now. And I'm going to give you some of the most common benefits. For those of you that aren't familiar, we have a group of over 200,000 aspiring and current freelancers, 200,000 Filipinos. And we asked this question, like, why would you go into freelancing, or why are you interested in going into freelancing? And ito yung mga most common answers nila. Okay, one of the most common answers is this, okay, no everyday commute to work. Right. As you can see here, this is EDSA, and then we have the MRT on top. If you're familiar with Metro Manila, you know the traffic. There was a time I worked in Manila. I was traveling from Parañaque to Quezon City. Parang one way lang, 2.5 hours. So parang back and forth. 5 hours in travel ko, back and forth. I'm here in Cebu, and when I moved back here to Cebu, I was working sa call center malapit dito. It took me mga 45 minutes one way, so mga 1.5 hours. How about you? How much time do you spend going back and forth and in travel? How much time do you spend? I know some of you are gonna answer several hours and so on, but how much time? Parang may poll tayo. Lagay niyo sa chat. How much time do you spend? And if you think about it, itong 5 hours ko dati, traveling back and forth, I could be doing so many other things. Diba? Ang sayang ng oras ng 5 hours. Even some people, they sleep for 5 hours sa isang araw, diba? And 5 hours, I could be, well, bata pa ko nun, and of course, didn't have kids, don't have kids yet. But I could be, if I had family, I'd be able to spend time with my family. At that time, I was staying with my lolo and lola, who are not with us anymore. Pero I could have spent more time with them. Diba? Yung 5 hours na yun, sayang na sayang. I could have, if gusto ko mag-Dota or right now wala nang Dota pa, hindi na sikat yung League of Legends or Mobile Legends. I could have been doing that, diba, sa 5 hours na yun. Or I could have been reading a book. I could have been earning money. Pwede pang trabaho yun, 5 hours isang araw, diba? That's 20 hours a week. So that's a lot of time wasted, right? ikaw, with that time, oh, ito, sabi 1 hour, 30 minutes, 45, 2 to 3 hours, back and forth, 2 hours, 15 minutes, oh, wow, 6 hours, grabe talaga yung travel time. And that's time, I know a lot of you are moms, diba? A lot of you are moms or dads. That's time you could be spending with your kids. Diba? That's quality time you could be spending with your kids na nasasayang lang because you're just traveling. And you're wasting so much time. So one of the main reasons, one of the top reasons why a lot of people want to go into freelancing is because they don't want to spend this time in travel. They don't want to spend this time in traffic. Wala na yung commute. Kasi yung mga freelancers dito, I know may mga freelancers dito and they're gonna say, pagising ko, ayun, may computer na agad. You're 10 seconds away. Diba? Imbis 5, 6 hours away, you're 10 seconds away from work. Right? So, yun, yung time. And time is something that we can't get back, diba? Then we have money. Number two reason natin is money. Yung higher earnings. Of course, be nice, but for me, time is more important, especially if you have kids. That's something that's you can't get back. Diba? So number two, the second reason that we have is higher earnings. Right? So just to give some context here, I was, well, I'm going to go into my story later, pero I used to work in the call center. I used to be a manager. I was earning mga 45, 50,000 pesos a month. And then I went into freelancing. So, of course, I'm earning more right now. Tapos nasa bahay lang ako, diba? Some of our students in the VA Bootcamp, we have a lot of students. We have mga 6,000 students right now. Some of our students, they used to be factory workers. We used to have baggers na used to have mga helpers, and they were earning 10,000 pesos a month or less. Yeah. Now we see them; they're able to go into freelancing, they're able to study, they're able to learn, and they're earning 30,000 a month. Okay, 30,000 a month compared sa 10,000 dati. Ang laki ng jump na yun, di ba? If you're earning less than 10,000 and then you're earning 30,000 right now, that's a very big jump. And that changes a lot of lives. And this is why we're doing this, because we want to change lives, we want to improve lives. So that jump is huge in terms of quality of life, in terms of what you can provide for your family, in terms of what you can buy and what you can spend on, di ba? Others naman sa VA Bootcamp, like some of our members, they're earning 50,000 pesos. Or yung iba, they're earning 100,000 pesos. Yung iba, even more than that. Pero, as you can see, diba, yung jump in the quality of life and jump in what you're able to provide for your family, for your future, it's really there. That you can get this. Yung potential is really there sa freelancing. Okay, I know there are a lot of comments right now. There might be some questions. I can't remember since there are so many comments. I can't answer the comments. Type them in the Q&A section here, okay? Because I'm focused dito sa presentation and not here in the comments right now. Okay, the third reason, the number 3 reason is being able to work from anywhere in the world. Okay, I was able to travel when I was freelancing. I was earning enough before and I was able to travel habang nagtrabaho. Parang vacation and work at the same time, especially I didn't have a family yet, pa I wanted to be able to travel kasi kung may bata mahirap na, di ba? So I wanted to travel the world, and this is me. This is in Greece. That's in Athens, actually. And then I was able to be able to do my work kahit saan, anywhere in the world. And it doesn't need to be naman traveling the world. Pero for other people, this is very important for them because they can work, of course, kung nasa bahay, right? As long as you have internet, as long as you have your computer, laptop or desktop, and you have internet, yun naman pinaka-importante. Yung iba, it's very important because they can visit family. Yung iba sabi nila, okay, I want to visit my parents in the province, pero I can't because I'm working in the call center. Pero with freelancing, they're able to do that. They're able to go to, well, right now, mahirap, diba, kasi pandemic. Pero before, they're able to travel to Mindanao, to around the Philippines, as long as you have internet. And hindi naman kailangan, for most jobs, hindi naman kailangan na naka-fiber connection ka. A lot of the times, I just use my cell phone. Naka 4G na ako. Work from anywhere as long as you have internet. Even right now, in the pandemic, minsan, me and my fiance, tinatamad kami. So we go to like Starbucks, para magtrabaho social, no? Starbucks para magtrabaho, para ibang environment, para may ibang tao na, of course, social distancing. Very important, social distancing. So yeah, the next reason is being able to work at any time. Okay, so most work, when it comes to working online, is flexible flexing schedule. So what that means is that it doesn't matter kung what time that you work, as long as matatapos mo yung trabaho by the deadline. So may mga clients na, okay, before gumagawa ako ng website. So sabihin nila, okay, I want the website done by end of March. Ganun. So basta matapos siya by end of March, ako na bahala when I'm going to am I going to work 12 hours today tapos 0 hours tomorrow. Ako na bahala dun. And this is yung one of our coaches in the VABootcamp. This is Anna Soriano. She just gave birth a few months ago. And this is perfect for her kasi kung gising si baby, di ba? And he does sa mga admin work, di ba? Mga may data entry work siya. When tulog si baby, she's able to do her work dito na trabaho habang he's carrying the baby. So very flexible. And this is great, especially if you have little kids and if you have families, because you can do the work around them, right? So right now, sige, 30 minutes, you take care of the baby, or 1 hour, ganun, tapos tulog siya, sige, 2 hours tulog siya, you do your work, you complete it, and then gising ulit, so you can work your schedule around that. As long as you finish the work by the deadline, you can meet. Even if you don't have kids, this is great because yung iba sa atin, di ba, morning person. So yung mga trabaho in the morning, okay? Yung iba afternoon, yung iba evening people, di ba? So in the morning, pwede ka mag-Netflix, tapos sa gabi, that's when you parang focus and you do your work. So yung being able to work at any time is a huge benefit, di ba? Unlike sa office na may schedule talaga, okay? May existing schedule. I just noticed it pala sa dito sa YouTube, di pala kita yung last line ng presentation, putol kasi may frame. Pero it's okay. You can hear me naman. Okay. And then another benefit is in professional growth. You're able to do what you love. Sige. And this is great for a lot of people because ako, in my situation before, I was working in the call center. I worked in the call center for a lot of years, more than 5 years. And I was stuck. Yeah, kasi nasa call center ka, di ba? You can't really go into other things na hindi naman related to call center, di ba? Ako, I felt very stuck. I felt na I got bored. I was very bored na kasi paulit-ulit every day, di ba? And I wanted to do different things. But I couldn't. I couldn't do different things because trabaho ko is ito lang. Yeah. But in freelancing, you can do what you love. A lot of times we tell people to start out as virtual assistants and then they grow into other roles, into graphic design, into marketing, into ads, to writing, into emails, technical, web design, and so on. Right. By the way, June, if you can tell me, just chat with me on Messenger. If I go over the time, is that okay? Do we have parang a buffer? Because it looks like I'm going to go over the time. But I'm going to try to make this faster. So yeah, I'm a bit, nakita, I'm just looking at the time here. I'm running a bit slow. So I'll make this a bit faster. Sige, so just message me. Okay, next is being able to become a better person. What do I mean by this? So if we look at the benefits earlier, no commute, you're able to earn more, able to work anywhere, able to work anytime, able to do what you love. Sobrang blessed na kayo nun, di ba? You're going to be very, very blessed. And when you have those blessings, and we've seen this from a lot of our members, is you're able to bless others na. You're able to give back. You're able to teach others. Ako, I teach others. Yung ibang members namin are able to mentor others sa group and help others grow and give them, help improve other people's lives. So ito yung mga benefits. Okay, ito yung mga lahat ng benefits of freelancing. And I hope, maybe this convinced you, has this convinced you in any way, okay itong freelancing na to. Or has this parang, ayoko na freelancing. Sige, let me know in the comments. Did it encourage you or discourage you ba? Sige, I'm just looking at the comments. Your audio is working. Most of the time 6 hours. Or yung mga travel time. May problem ba yung audio? I don't think. Try ko close again. Start na. Ako. Yung iba clear. I think it's the connection sa ibang tao. Because yung iba clear, yung iba may issue. Sige. All right. So let me go into my story. Na audio is good. Okay. Let me go into my story. Let me share about my own story. Baka makarelate kayo. So I'm just going to go through this quickly. But before I started freelancing, I didn't know anything about freelancing. I started freelancing in mga 2010, 2011. And at that time, I was working my way up in the call center and I became promoted. I became a trainer. I became a manager. And this is where I used to work, sa Panda Manila. Ay, hindi. Sa Chase. Sa Chase, sa harap naman, di ba? Sa pandemic nila. Sa, which is okay naman. Pero I was working in JP Morgan Chase sa call center. Wala naman call center yung pandemic nila, di ba? So, I was working in JP Morgan Chase. And I was earning a lot na as a manager. But like I said earlier, di ba, I was bored. I was doing the same thing every day. And I wanted to do something else. Parang sa day off, sa extra, parang sa time, days off, and after work, I wanted to do something that challenged me. So I heard about this freelancing thing. Pero dati, like ngayon, you guys are very lucky because you have this. You have this conference here, yung work remote. You have so many gurus right now. I saw people are members of or followers, people who follow VABootcamp, who follow me, who follow FH Moms. But there's so many communities. There's so many coaches right now that you guys are so lucky. Because before, when I heard about freelancing, I wanted to look into it. I went on the websites, pero there was no information. Walang mga tutorials, walang mga YouTube tutorials on how to get hired, on what skills do I need. I had to learn everything on my own. At that time, we had to learn everything on our own. And that's the back then, that was the biggest challenge, is that there's no information. Diba? No matter how much I dig about information about freelancing, well, there's not enough information out there. There's no, like I said, there's no influencers, there's no tutorials. But right now, kayo, there's so many influencers, there's so many groups, so many pages, so many YouTube videos, diba? So, iba yung challenge nyo. The challenge you face right now is that there's so much information, right? There's so many YouTube tutorials, so many courses, coaches, gurus. I saw somebody said, saan ba ako mag-learn ng social media? And so many people had mga suggestions. May course dito, may course doon, may Udemy, and then there's so many different places, right? It's overwhelming. Okay, it's very overwhelming. There's so much information out there, just like over here, mind blown kayo. But first and foremost, I want to cover some basics. Some basics when it comes to freelancing. So what is freelancing? Okay, so first and foremost, freelancing refers to being self-employed. I'm sure most of you know this, but I'm just going over this just in case. It means that ikaw yung boss sa sarili mo. Okay, you do work, you get paid for it. You can get paid by the hour. You can also get paid by the project. Okay, and I have some examples here. I know it's confusing yung description here, but I have some examples here. Makeup artists, they are self-employed. So when somebody hires makeup artists, let's say may wedding, diba? Or may party, diba? Somebody hires makeup artists. Makeup artists, they go, they do their job, they get paid. And then tapos na. That's it, right? And then yung iba, let's say makeup artists sa mga, I don't know, may mga corporate shoots, let's say every month, diba? So may continuous projects yung makeup artists with a certain company, right? They do their work, they get paid either by the hour or by the project, and that's it. Pero they're not employed. Hindi sila employed. Naka-freelance sila. So meaning wala silang, it's not stable job that they have with the company, but and then the company doesn't tell them how to do their job. Sila bahala how they're going to do it as long as they get it done. Diba? And that's the same with freelancing. What matters is that we get the job done. Doesn't matter what time we do it, what method we do it, basta matapos siya by the deadline. Yung mga massage therapists, same thing, very similar. Yung ibang freelancer are also mga handyman. Okay, you call a handyman because you need their help. They do a project for you, they do work for you, pero you're not employing them. Diba? So that's what a freelancer is. They do work for different companies, even though they are not directly employed by the company. Okay. And what are some other examples? Aside from makeup artists, manghihilot, and handymen, what are some other, discuss nyo sa chat. What are some other examples of mga freelancers that we're more familiar with? Because I'm trying, in the offline world, sa hindi online, what are more examples of offline freelancers aside from these job roles? So yung iba na so much information daw, I'm seeing it here. What are some other roles? Now, when it comes to online freelancing, we also have online freelancers. And this is like the same thing. These are people who work, who do projects, who do certain jobs for certain companies, but they're not employed by them. Graphic designers, they make logos, kahit hindi sila employed sa company. Writers, they help write blog posts or content or sales copy or emails, even though they're not employed by a company. Ako dati, web designer, I'd make a website for a company, for different companies, but I wasn't really employed. I do projects for them. Graphic designer, models, tutors, VA, virtual assistant, online na yun. Eventologists, photographers, great. Real estate, tutors, wedding planners, great examples. Perfect. So you understand what freelancing is. And this is just in the online world. Now, what is the gig economy? It's part of our topic today. Tinatawag nating gig economy. Ang gig economy is because of the project-based nature of a lot of freelancers. Yung up and down, masyadong up and down yung freelancing world. Okay? So a lot of us freelancers, like before, I remember before there was like 1 month na 4 na website. I had to do 4 websites. Tapos before wala akong assistant dati. And I had to do 4 websites na one. Tinapos ko naman, pero I was super busy, di ba? And then the month, parang 2 months after that, wala akong project. And that's how it is sometimes. Na may super strong months ka, you might be earning several 100,000 pesos. And then a few months later, 10,000 lang. So it requires discipline. Okay? And we see this sometimes in freelancers na, dami akong pera ngayon ah. Sige, bongga, bili ako ng bahay or ng bahay, ng kotse or something. And then a few months later, nahirapan. Kala ko dami mong project, dami mong pera, ubos lahat eh. So it requires financial discipline. Just, most of you don't have this problem yet, and it's a good problem to have. But just to let you know that this is something that exists, and you have to look out for it. One way to look out for it is you get a client that pays you consistently. Kahit hindi siya big projects, like yung VA work, usually it's consistent. You get paid consistently, even though you get paid less than what you want to, pero at least consistent siya. So in case may down months ka, you have that consistent work. So that's how the gig economy works, is that may up and down. Just like sa photographers, right now, walang mga events. Diba? Photographers before, dami lang events, dami mga weddings or parties. Ngayon, wala. So up and down, yung project-based nature. Pero what's great about online is may internet man palaki eh. Even the pandemic, daming websites, diba? In fact, it's been growing, it's been booming. So we see that there's always a need, even during times like this, right? Unless wala ng internet. Yung mga questions, guys, type it in the Q&A portion. You'll see it on top. Okay, find the video editor's tutor. Sige. So you might be wondering, especially if you're a newbie, what kind of work can you do as a freelancer? So here's just a list over here. Ang daming mga work that you can do here. Data entry. Let me just summarize like the basic ones here. Data entry. What can this consist of? Is I did data entry before a long time ago, wherein there was parang a magazine and a scan, and then I just had to type it into Microsoft Word. Simply. You guys can do that, right? Kaya nyo ba gawin yun? Yung data entry? Let me know in the comments. Data entry, yes. Transcription. One transcription is podcast transcription. So, ano yung mga podcasts? Let's say mga ganito, diba? You're listening to me right now. There are mga workshops. Transcription is just typing what I'm saying. That's it. Typing what the speakers are saying. So what you do is you watch the video, you pause, type, change the speed, and so on. And that's transcription. So a lot of people ask, hey, hindi ako pwede sa online, hirap nun ah. Pero, let me ask you, can you do data entry? Can you do transcription? Kaya nyo ba gawin yun? Diba? You're gonna say, yes, data entry. Yes, I'm a transcriptionist. May sabi dito, diba? Sige, email, calendar managing emails, managing calendars, using Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Office applications, doing research online, social media, galing ng mga Pinoy, basta social media, website management, e-commerce store management, social search engine optimization, web design, Facebook and Google ads, email copywriting, blog writing, graphic design, yung mga logos, ganun, illustration, yung mga drawings, iba yun, programming, bookkeeping, and many more. So there are so many different things that you can do as a freelancer. And if you don't know where to start, just look at this list here. Okay, I'm sure that there's like 1, 2, 3, like which of these can you do? Like which of these can you guys do on this list? Or baka there are other things na, especially sa mga newbies na who are wondering, saan ba ako mag-start? Like, can I go into freelancing? Look at this list here and tell me, list it down. Like, what can I do here? PDF to Microsoft Word. Internet research, gusto talaga na ma-master yan. Just doing research yung mga Google searches, diba? Customer service, diba? Yeah, type it here, especially sa mga newbies. Yung mga existing freelancer, you can say what you do, diba? We have somebody, I think I saw bookkeeper, I saw graphic designer here in the chat. So yeah, you can say that there. Sige. So Now, the challenge, the challenge for a lot of people is, what do I do, right? Where do I start? And we kind of answered that earlier, right? We had this list over here. But a lot of people are wondering, saan ako mag-start? Saan ba ako magsimula as a freelancer? Okay. And a lot of people are saying, I want to get into websites, I want to get into SEO or ads or bookkeeping later on, but I don't know it right now, but I want to start freelancing. So what I usually tell people who have this dilemma is, you can start as virtual assistants. You can start as a virtual assistant. Yung virtual assistant, what is a virtual assistant? A virtual assistant is pang a general all-around freelancer. Alam mo yung mga office assistants, di ba? Yung mga office assistants who work for, they have a boss, di ba? And they say, okay, assistant, I need you to make this phone call. Oh, assistant, I need you to check my email. Assistant, I need you to find this on the internet. I need to print this document. I need you to type this in Excel. Ganun. Yun ang virtual assistants. They're all around. Iba-ibang mga trabaho ginagawa nila. They know the basics of different skills, pero they're not an expert. Like assistant, I want you to type this in Excel, di ba? Pero you won't say, hey assistant, I need you to create this formula in Visual Basic and create pivot tables and pivot charts in Excel. Kasi hindi sila expert in certain areas, pero they know the basics of the list earlier. They know the basics of a lot of those areas. And what we teach people is to become virtual assistants when they're starting out, because it's the easiest place to start. Most of us know how to use Microsoft Word or Excel, can do data entry, can do web management, can do researching, diba? Yeah, most of us can do that. So that's why I always tell people, you can start off as a virtual assistant, right? And then later on, you can do other things. So when I started out, I started out working as a virtual assistant during my after work, during weekends. I was working in Chase. But during my weekends, I was able to start doing online work, virtual assistant, and I was able to earn 30,000 a month. Na sideline. So naisip ko, if I can earn 30,000 a month na sideline lang, na on my days off, how much more if ginawa ko itong full time? So that's when I quit. That's when I got tired of working the call center, I quit. And I said, okay, I'll focus dito sa freelancing. And ayun, ito pala, I quit. There are a lot of things that happen in between. We don't have like the time to go over my entire story here, but I was able to travel the world because of freelancing. I was able to touch other people's lives because of freelancing. Like, this is one of our students here. I'm just going to share her message here. Hello, Sir Jason. I would just like to say thank you for the encouragement and motivation, especially sa WAP, yung dating group, at sa fellow WAPers ko. Right now, it's Flip. Although di po ako active mag-post every day, po akong nag-check sa FB, lurker ang peg, may stalker na kayo. Even nung nag-live kayo, I was watching and I keep notes po sa that. Other than that, I'm excited to let you know na may client na po ako, and so far maayos po yung takbo ng trabaho ko. Nabibili ko na po yung mga needs ng baby at ko, at thankfully di na po kami nakahiga sa carton ngayon. Di na rin po ako nakaupo lang sa sahig habang nagpipindot ng laptop. Di na rin po kami kumakain ng noodles sa gabi. At lalong di na rin po ako umiyak bago matulog kasi failed na naman. Nakaupo na po ako, although di pa ganun kakomportable ang chair ko. Maayos naman ang table ko. I hope po you will continue helping others. Plano ko sana i-share to sa group. Kaya lang po baka saka na kapag talagang okay na ako. And she shared her story. Again po, thank you. And pinag-ipunan ko talaga yung VABootcamp, which she enrolled in eventually after this. May alkansiya na po ako para dyan. Kasali po kayong ang family niyo sa mga dasal ko. So this is what I was, di ba sabi ko kanina, you can bless others and help others in freelancing. And this is like one of the people I was able to help before. And she's, of course, as you can see here, she is happy and successful now, right? Sige. So just to kind of close it out, I kind of rushed through this presentation. Tama pala yung time. You might be wondering, what can you prepare to become a freelancer? So hopefully this presentation kind of enlightened you. I know it's only a 30-minute presentation. I can talk about this for hours, go into so much detail, pero this is just to kind of give you an overview. Okay. So if this is what you're thinking of doing, most of you guys I know are working, diba? Are you guys working? Sino bang working dito? Let me know. Sino bang working dito? And if you're working right now and you're thinking, okay, I want to become a freelancer. So this is what you need. This is what you need to prepare. Okay? You need to prepare mentally. Okay? Study about freelancing. Learn more about freelancing. That's what you're doing right now. Just get the basic information and study skills that you can use, study skills that you can apply and you can use as a freelancer. Second is emotionally. Get ready to be rejected. Okay. When you're freelancing, when you're first starting out, I saw somebody said earlier, it's hard to get established. It's hard because you will get rejected many times. You will get rejected before you get accepted, before you parang get hired for a project or for a job. You will, most of the time you'll get rejected. Like a lot of people, it's 1 out of 30. They apply for 30 jobs, they get hired for 1. So a lot of people, they're not ready emotionally. They get rejected 5 times. Well, then they give up. So if you want to do this, you have to get ready to be rejected. Prepare a strong will to keep pushing. Remember why you went into freelancing, to help your family, to prepare for your future. Okay? So that's what you need to do to prepare emotionally. Technically, computer and internet. Even if it's not your own computer, not your own internet, but you have access to them. Financially, if you're going to quit, have an emergency fund. We said it's a gig economy, so there are ups and downs. So have an emergency fund just in case, and optionally have another source of income. Okay, so this is what you need to prepare to become a freelancer. All right, if you want to learn more about me, about us in the VA Bootcamp, please connect with us here. We have a free course. You can go to this website, free virtual assistant course, freevacourse.com. Okay, so you can just go to that website, and we have a 5-day free course just giving you the basics about working online, working from home, and becoming a virtual assistant. We have a Facebook group. Just do a search for freelancers in the Philippines. You can find our Facebook group there, or you can send me an email. My team members usually check the email, and it's over at jason@vabootcamp.ph. All right, so that's it for the presentation. Thank you guys for staying on. I think we covered a lot naman in 30 minutes. Do you guys agree na marami tayong na-cover kahit 30 minutes lang? And this is where you can connect to learn more. And if you have any questions, over here, click on that link at the very top in the chat, and then you can go there and be able to post your questions there. So June, are we going to go to Q&A?
Yes. Hi. Thank you so much for that presentation. Amazing presentation. Okay. So I noticed this is the story is basically, it's your way of giving back, because you got so much from freelancing. This is basically your way of saying thank you. It's thank you and helping other people, right?
And helping others, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We're a little bit out of time, but we want to answer the top questions that you have. And the number one is actually, is there an age limit for remote work in general?
No. Short answer, no. As long as you can do stuff on a computer. Now, I know people who are in their 60s who are able still to do work. So it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, what age, what gender, what education you have, as long as you can get the job done.
Right. Exactly. There's no discrimination in age.
Exactly.
You get the work done, it gets done, right? Second, and I guess this is going to be our last question. I would like to ask if we are going to do some training so we can land a job in order to work remote. Well, I guess this is something for the
this is already the free course. They can go there.
Right, exactly.
Another one if we have time.
Yeah, let me see. Let me check the list. I know that this is no longer the case nowadays, but may I know if employers still have an age preference for their applicants? Are employers willing to hire? Okay, this is still regarding the age. I think it has the insecurity right there, right? That they feel that parang naiwanan na sila ng panahon. Can I still catch up, right? So and I'm seeing that most of the questions are also regarding the training. Jason has already provided the links that you can go to where you can get the training, and I think that would be a good idea for you to check it out, especially if you are still undecided, like, oh, do I really want to do development? Do I want to do design? VA positions are the perfect place for you to start, because you can try out everything. And then, you know, once you find out, you figure out which one you like, you can go through that and, you know, pursue that career.
There's a question in the chat that I'd like to answer, actually.
Yes,
if we have
go
time.
ahead.
It's from Henry Chu. I don't know if you posted it there, but I said, Sir Jason, what was the biggest challenge when you transitioned from corporate setting to freelancing? Okay. So yeah, the biggest challenge when I transitioned is myself, actually. So it's not really the clients. It's not really like learnings, but and this is what a lot of people face. It's themselves. You are your own worst enemy, in the sense that if you don't have a boss, who are you going to answer to? And it's only yourself. So you have to be the one. You have to be the one to push yourself. You have to be the one to parang push yourself to get up in the morning, hindi lang nakahiga, hindi lang mag-Netflix the whole day, and to do work. Because otherwise, unlike in the corporate, if you don't do your work, somebody's gonna pester you. Here, you have to do it yourself. So that's the biggest challenge, is getting over that and being able to motivate yourself. But being your own manager and being able to motivate yourself and push yourself to keep going even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it. And yeah, so that's the biggest challenge with myself. Ayun.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. No, we're running out of time. I wish we had more. And thank you again so much, Jason, for coming on board. You know, I think this is
Thank you so much, Jude, for having me.
Yeah, this is amazing that we're kind of working collectively, you know, all of the freelancers and remote workers in the Philippines to help other Filipinos, you know, to know more about remote working. All right. So everybody, next up is Trish. She's going to be talking about how to rock your virtual interviews. And so if Jason has prepared you on what you need to do, you know, to be right before you apply for work, what are the skills you need to have? Well, Trish is going to prepare you how to show up to those interviews the right way so that you close the deal, right? It's one thing for you to get the interview. So, you know, to get to the door, there's another part that you need to do right after you get into the door. And we'll have to talk about that. All right. We will be right back. Thank you again, Jason. See you in a bit.